Hey Fixer family, it's Charmin, and on today's video we are going to be making these super cute back to school pencil signs that can be teachers' gifts for those that are going back into the classroom, or they can also be used to make something cute for your students at home for their desk if they are virtual learning this year. We're going to be using paint stirrers from Home Depot, a little bit of acrylic paint, and a decal from my Silhouette. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Fixin' 2. So what we'll need, like I said, is these paint sticks from Home Depot. They come 3 in a pack. You'll need, of course, some paint brushes and also some acrylic paint. I'm using different brands, but the colors that I'm using, of course, are these gray and silver, black, red and pink, and then also some yellow. And then I've created a decal using my Silhouette, and this is of course the font, the Skinny, that you can get from thefont.com. So we're going to take one of our paint sticks, and if you flip it over you'll see that on one side of the stick it has a ruler, and we're going to use this to our advantage. We're going to cut off at 8 inches, and you can get 2 of them out of one paint stick. So I'm going to bring in my miter box here, and guys, I will link this down below if you guys are interested. I got it off of Amazon, really inexpensive. And we're just going to go ahead and cut that straight cut and take a little piece of our sandpaper and just kind of smooth out those rough edges. And now we're going to also make our point and cut our miter cuts. Now these are the 45-degree angles. And the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and find our center point, line that up with our miter box here, and just cut off one corner. And then you're going to mark the other side to make sure that you've got that center again, flip it over, and cut off the other side, and you'll have this perfect arrow on that one end. And we're just going to take our sandpaper again and smooth out all of the rough edges. So now that we have that done, I'm going to take 1-inch masking tape. Now of course you can use painter's tape as well, but I'm using the 1-inch wide tape. And I'm going to tape off the end down here where the eraser will be, just to give us a good crisp line on that end. And as we're, kind of wrapping it around the back, you want to make sure that you're lining up your tape on the back so that you have a good straight line. And then what I'm going to do is take a pencil on the other end, and you know how when you sharpen a pencil, it's not a straight line of where the painted part is and where the wood part. So I'm just loosely sketching something there on the end, something that I can use to kind of guide me through painting these, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm doing it on both sides. So now I'm going to be taking my dark yellow, it's the Craft Smart brand, and just putting a little dab on my plate here, and then I'm just going to begin to paint. And I paint both the front and the back, both sides of it, and I'm going to give this a good 2 coats. Now that the paint is good and dry, we're going to take another piece of our masking tape, and we're going to bring it down about quarter of inch to a half an inch down. And of course doing the same thing, making sure that we line up our tape really well so that we can get a good crisp line. And we're also going to use our finger to smooth it down and press it down so that it will not run. And what we're making here is like the little metal band that holds the eraser onto your pencil. We're going to paint that right there. And I'm going to start with painting with my dark, it's called Rainy Day Gray. And we're going to paint 2 coats of this gray because we want to make sure that we're covering up the yellow. And then we're going to be using our sterling silver. It's the metallic folk art paint, and we're going to do 2 coats of this all the way around, both front and back and the sides. And of course I'm using a little cheat there, using my hair dryer to help it dry a bit faster. So now we're going to pull our tape off and see the pretty crisp lines that you get with that, and it looks really, really good. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let that kind of, dry a little bit more, kind of cure a little bit more. And while I do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint the little pencil lead on the very tip of it. And what I do with it is I take the black paint and I mix it in with a little bit of the gray paint to get more of kind of like that dark pewter look, kind of like what lead would look like. So we just quickly mix that in there, and using a fine tipped brush, I'm just going to easily make that little line free-handed and get the little tip, the lead, for our pencil. So now we're ready to paint our eraser, and doing the same thing again with the paint to keep our lines crisp. And also, like I said before, I will kind of just barely drop it down onto that gray paint so that we could get a good coverage and a good crisp line. And so what I'm going to do is take my Holiday Red by Craft Smart, and of course my bright pink from Craft Smart, and we're going to just kind of mix them a little bit just to give us a close close look to what a pencil eraser would be. Now of course you could paint it red and it would be just fine, but this is what I wanted to do, and I thought that it turned out really well. And so I'm going to give this a good 2 coats as well, painting the front, the back, both sides, and also the top there, the very end. Now that this is dry, we're going to go ahead and pull off the tape here and reveal this cute pencil. I mean, this is so stinking cute. I am so excited about this piece. And to top it off, lastly, we're going to put on my granddaughter's kindergarten teacher name, and we did that again with our silhouette, but you can also freehand this with no problems. Didn't that turn out so cute, guys? This is just awesome, and I can't wait for her to give this to her teacher. Well guys, if this is the first time to my channel, I am so glad that you're here. Consider sticking around and clicking on that subscribe button down there and becoming a part of the Fixer family. We would love to have you. Make sure that you give this a big thumbs up, and let me know if you guys are, your kids are going back to school, or your grandkids are going back to school, or if you are doing virtual learning. I would love to hear that from you. Well guys, have a beautiful and blessed weekend. Know that I love you, and always remember to keep looking up, because that's where it all is. I'll see you on the next video.